There's a lot of reaction to the news of Burke's sentencing.
Former federal prosecutor Patrick Collins joins us now. Thanks for being here.
Sure, thank you for having me, Terrence.
First of all, does it surprise you how this all played out today?
I think for most sort of veteran courtroom observers, this was a lighter sentence than was anticipated. I do think you had a situation where the judge was balancing very serious public corruption with this outpouring of support. And it wasn't from the powerful people. She actually said she discounted the letters from powerful people. But what moved her were the letters where Mr. Burke appeared to be doing things for which he wasn't going to be getting credit, those quiet people that he was helping. And I do think the judge was noticeably moved by that. It wasn't his act of contrition because he didn't really have much to say. He did sort of what we call the passive voice apology, but I think the judge was really moved by his sort of body of work of his life. And that caused her to depart, as Paris said in the opening piece, from the guidelines substantially to a 2-year sentence.
Let's talk about what happens next. So he's been sentenced. Obviously, we know there's going to be appeal coming. But what's the next step for him? When is he actually going to be serving that time?
Yeah, Sylvia, in 90 days, he'll have to be reporting to prison. And, you know, the appeals would go on contemporaneous with him appealing, with him reporting, I should say. He won't be able to not report. There is this one Supreme Court case, the Snyder case, that everybody's expecting to come down that could move the landscape here in terms of public corruption. But the parties agreed and the judge agreed that that Snyder case decision by the Supreme Court wouldn't impact his sentencing. And again, I suspect he will appeal, but a 2-year sentence, I think the defense camp has to be very happy today because I do think that they were expecting something more.
Yeah, because prosecutors were asking for 10 years. With all the letters of support, he is the longest serving city council member in Chicago's history. What do you think will be the larger fallout of this case? Is this a tarnish mark on his legacy?
Terrence, there's no question. You know, he was the dean of the city council. He is now a man without a law license who's going to jail, who's ending his career in disgrace. You know, it's a Shakespearean tragedy in many respects. But again, we have this long storied, infamous situation with public corruption in our city and state. But to have a man of his clear intelligence and skill to leave this way, I don't think there's any other way to call it but a tarnished legacy for Mr. Burke.
You know, Alderman Burke is part of the old school Chicago politics. A lot of people call the machine. A lot of other people who've been involved under that term, including Mike Madigan, who's waiting to go to trial. Do you think that this is the end of that old style Chicago machine politics in Illinois that we've known for so long?
I mean, Sylvia, again, it's a great question. I'm not sure I have the answer. I mean, we've seen so much of this, and every time we have one of these high-profile investigations and convictions, the question becomes, is this the end? And it just hasn't been. We're about to roll into a trial of Mr. Madigan, a very extraordinary case that the government will be presenting there as well. So again, as a long-term Chicago resident, I would like to think the message has been delivered, but I'm not sure I would take that to the bank.
Patrick Collins, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you breaking us down for us.